Hello everyone, welcome to Corner of Your Eye, a story channel created for all horror enthusiasts. I'm Lester, your storyteller. Since this is the first video, I thought, why not start things off by sharing a supernatural experience I had. It's also what inspired the name for this channel. So, sit back, relax, and let's begin. I was 11 years old at the time. My family and I recently moved into a new house in the most quiet neighborhood in town near the mountains. During the moving process, my parents came across strange objects that were inside and outside of the house. Masks, faces and figures that were carved out of wood and stone, left behind by the previous owners. My parents, being heavy into Christianity, immediately disposed of it. However, as the weeks went by and we began settling in, we kept discovering small items that were hidden in areas of the house we haven't explored yet. These items were necklaces and wind chimes made out of sticks, shells, animal teeth and fur, binded with what looked like human hair. Ever since moving into the new house, my sister and I were also having trouble sleeping, waking up in the middle of the night, hearing strange sounds coming from both outside and inside of the house, feeling like there's someone or something in our rooms watching us. This eventually led my parents into getting help from a pastor to give our house a quote-unquote cleanse. I remember it was in the afternoon, my parents welcoming a man into our home wearing a grey suit, introducing himself. He was quite friendly and talkative. He and my parents were in the living room chatting for a while until my mom called me and my sister in. He asked us to clear the area and to stand in line next to each other in the center of the room. Reaching into his suit pocket, he took out a small bottle of what looked like it had some form of oil mixture in it, coated a little on his finger, and drew a cross on each of our foreheads, while softly chanting out words I couldn't make sense of. He then asked us to close our eyes, as he's about to start praying. The prayer sounded like a typical prayer you would normally hear in most churches, but that transitioned to him speaking in a language I've never heard of, with his voice raising and becoming more intense. I remember me and my sister had our eyes opened, looking at each other, trying not to get weirded out by what's happening. Then he suddenly stopped. Our house was dead silent for a few seconds. He looked serious, asking my parents to go with him to each room of the house, instructing them to draw a cross on each door with the oil mixture, while he continues chanting and speaking in this weird language. When they were done with the inside of the house, they then proceeded to go outside to do the yard and the garage area. I remember I had to stay behind because I had a lot of homework I needed to do, and my mom wanted me to get started. I also thought it would be a good way to distract myself from this weirdness that's happening. I usually did my homework in the dining room. Now, our house had a long hallway that was merged with the dining room area on one end, and on the opposite end was my parents' room on the right side, with the hallway making a left turn that led to the bathrooms opposite my parents' room. So basically, if you sat in our dining room area, you could see the hallway as well as all activities that's happening. I was sitting in profile view from the hallway doing my homework, when from the corner of my eye I noticed movement coming from the opposite end of the hallway. My parents had a big window in their room, and when they left their door open during the day, it shined daylight in the hallway. So I didn't pay much attention to it, thinking that it's just movement being projected from outside. But as I continued doing my homework, I could see in my peripheral vision that there is something there that's not supposed to be there. And just as I turned my head to look, I caught a 2-second glimpse of what was a black shadow figure, bolting from the left through the right wall, as if it was there staring at me all this time, and ran out when it realized that I could see it. Surprisingly, I wasn't scared or freaked out by it. I guess I was still processing what the heck just happened, since it happened so fast and unexpectedly. When it finally hit me, I immediately ran out to tell my parents. They were still busy doing the garage, when the pastor looked at me, smiling and saying, "There are some dark spirits fleeing out of your house right now. You just happen to see one." If you are into videos like this, like and subscribe for more. Drop a comment below. If you would like me to share your scary stories, feel free to reach out. Take care.